Welcome to Lent 2021, this very strange year. All of us live with different sorts of years. There's the calendar year that we all think of beginning on January the 1st. There's the academic year for those who are studying or teaching, which begins very often at the beginning of September and goes on through essentially until June. Then you have the financial year. It kicks off in April. And then, of course, we, in the church context, we have what we call the liturgical year, which goes from the beginning of Advent, at the beginning of December, end of November, beginning of December, right through to the Feast of Christ the King, where we relive the whole story of the Christian message. Now, that Christian message has so many dimensions to it, such a rich body of teaching. The liturgical year has its own shape and its own seasons, just like we have in the calendar year, including the one that we begin on Ash Wednesday, the season of Lent. And the unavoidable message of prayer and penance and almsgiving. So it's not just limited to 6 weeks in the year and then we forget about it. But unless we find some specific time in the year for this season of penance, prayer and almsgiving, then we actually can end up missing out on that story if we don't have a particular time for it. And that Bible story, that Bible-based story that we celebrate, tells of human dignity and of the reality of human stupidity. It speaks of a God who believes that only love can overcome the effects of sin and evil. That's what Jesus showed us in his own life and death. So Lent is a divine invitation to join Jesus and to enter into that divine journey of confronting evil with good. Remember, at the start of his public life, right after his baptism, Jesus was faced with an extended period of fasting in the desert, and he was tempted to take the easy way out. So during Lent, we're sort of asked to develop our spiritual muscles so we can face the reality of temptation and be able to join Jesus in his battle against sin and its effects. And only when we have died with Christ can we then actually join him in his resurrection. So Lent is for not being afraid to die to ourselves and then to make space for Christ's risen life in our hearts. Jesus makes us a free offer of sharing in his life with him. And there's only one way to take up that offer. Welcome to Lent 21. May it be a time of blessing for you as you journey.